Hi all, my name is Mark, and in this video I want to talk about a few reasons why I got some of my dusty old vintage SLR lenses rehoused for video. I'm going to talk about what rehousing is, why I did it, and the specific benefits of doing it. Now keep in mind this is not for everybody. There is a cost associated with it, and unless your workflow demands it or it's financially viable, I would not necessarily recommend this for everyone. With that said, let's get into it. First things first, what the F is rehousing a lens? Now, rehousing a lens is simply transforming an old photography lens in a way that improves its functionality as a dedicated video lens. Now, this includes compatibility with modern cine accessories, because let's face it, photography and cinematography are sun and moon different, even though they share the same sky. Like that analogy? Now take, for example, these three Soviet SLR lenses. Now, originally designed for photography and despite their age, still work quite well in that field. Although that 20 had a super stiff focus that needed a little bit of attention. Now, I did buy those lenses with the intention of having them rehoused, which now look like this. Completely transformed physical body of the lens that allows it to stand up to the workflow demands modern day filmmakers require. Same optics, different bodies, sun and moon. Now, there are a number of companies that offer rehousing services on existing lenses, and it seems to be growing in popularity. Now, this Soviet set has been rehoused by iron glass adapters, and Zero Optic has recently had some mainstream attention rehousing Canon rangefinder lenses for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
The guys at Zero Optic, they took the Dream lenses completely apart and rehoused them so they could be cinema lenses.
Now, PC Hood Cinematics will take a modern photo lens like this Sigma 18-35 and turn it into a cinema version as an example of a modern lens conversion service. Now, Old Fast Glass has a whole range of rehoused vintage cinema lenses. The famous Zeiss B-Speeds, which were used in Taxi Driver, Shawshank Redemption, have been rehoused by Sam Cine and are being used in HBO's Euphoria, so immediately identifiable by that famous triangular bokeh. Now, the lenses and the costs associated with rehousing are all over the place in terms of price, but given the specific nature and their intended use, they're definitely not cheap, but I'll get more into that a little later. What the f are the benefits of rehousing a lens? Now, rehousing a lens involves discarding the old lens barrels, and a brand new custom body will be built around the retained original glass elements and lens groups. Now, the new solid body not only adds additional functionality, but also corrects any wobble or play that may exist on the original body of the lens. This is especially important when dealing with older lenses, because even the best internal optics are only as good as the physical body they're living in. Now, because most cinema-style lenses are manual focus, having that solid body construction is essential, simply because of all of the contact that will be made with that lens during production. It's meant to be handled, it's going to be handled, and it's not always going to be handled gently. Now, another benefit of the rehousing process can be felt in how smooth the ring rotation becomes, now, both the focus and aperture ring. In some cases, rehousers can also redistribute the spread of the focus distance, offering more usable degrees of rotation in the lens, as well as standardizing the direction of focus rotation to cinema standards. The possibility of new irises is also an option. In some offerings, you can increase the number of blades to an existing aperture ring, which would create more circular aperture blade pattern in your out of focus areas. Now, also part of the construction are the industry standard integrated follow focus gears that are built right into the lens and allow follow focus systems to be easily installed and operated by additional crew. Most rehousing sets offered come with new barrels that are industry standard. Now, take for example these Soviet lenses. Each lens has a 95mm front diameter, which offers effortless compatibility with most modern matte boxes. Now, depending on the rehousing services, modern integrated lens mounts such as PL and EF are offered on the rehoused lenses, which make mounting them to modern camera systems a breeze. The less connection points between your lens and the camera, the better. Now, modern cine-style focus markings are also permanently engraved into the lens for better accuracy when tracking a subject through a blocked frame. Now, those markings are also mounted at a 90-degree rotation, making them easy to read from the side of the camera, an essential feature for first ACs. Now, some rehousing services will also convert a photography f-stop rating of a lens to traditional cinema t-stops, which give a more reliable and consistent measure of light coming through the lens. Rehousing a lens or a set of lenses really comes down to reliability and confidence of using your lenses in a professional setting. And this will ultimately allow you to focus more on the important aspects of filmmaking, the creativity, and the context. So what the are the costs of rehousing? Now, the cost of rehousing varies. Generally speaking, it's pretty expensive, which is why I stress that this process isn't for everybody. It's also fairly time consuming. Most of these lenses are custom ordered, and the nature of the work demands the skill of a highly trained individual to properly assemble them. Now, I've actually got the Canon 0.95 Dream lens and a quote from Optic to have it rehoused. Now, just the cost of the rehousing alone is $4,000, now, while I supply my own lens. Now, it's also about a year wait. My Leica R's would cost $5,000 each, times 3, $15,000. That's a lot, right? I guess it really depends on what you're shooting. Doesn't make a lot of sense for me because I get what I need out of these lenses and my contact size with these sim mods. But I guess my point is with these numbers is that there is a market for this stuff, especially as the craft continues to evolve over time. Now, rehousing I think is getting more popular as many of these old lenses are getting repurposed for cinema. That said, not every project requires the same look. Now, content dictates style first and foremost. It's not recommended you try to wedge any style into the content. It's a bit of an uphill battle. So why am I invested? Now, for me, deciding to make the investment in these iron glass lenses came down to the fact that I love shooting vintage lenses and also based on the kind of work I do. Now, for me, these lenses are a sound investment that will and have generated revenue for my business. Not everything I do is going to require the use of these lenses. They're tools I have in my toolkit that when called upon, I'll be able to exploit to their fullest. Now, I also think having a set of affordable cinema-like prime lenses on hand 24/7 not only promotes constant experimentation when one gets the creative itch, but also, after prolonged use, a deeper understanding of how to maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses, and how to exploit that in your work. Now, the price of rehousing is likely unjustifiable to most people, so is their intended use. These lenses and the others mentioned are not for everybody, and that's totally fine. They're options, and I've said it before, options are good. Anyways, I think I'll just shut up now. Thanks as all for watching, and I'll see you next time.